enough, big, like a regular bedroom, was it like he got the whole downstairs or whatever?
Nah, he just got regular bedroom. Yeah, the spot at the other house, he had a bedroom and bathroom. Man, we got bedroom, bathroom here too, but just the way it was laid out, man, was a little bit bigger, more size to it. So yeah.
New easier moderation. Press the Alt key to pause the chat, then point to a message to delete it, block or use or take other actions. Got it. All right. I think you went out. I can't hear your audio.
Who, me?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I ain't saying nothing. Yeah.
I got you. I'm looking at you on YouTube, and there's a delay. So I'm looking at your mouth move on YouTube, but I ain't hear you say nothing.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, man. Before we get started, we about to get started. Look like I got a few popped on.
Okay.
So just to let the people know that's on, and the people that's gonna watch this on the replay, we are going to talk about the Loadboard. This is my brother, my big brother, Coconut, as he's known on the road, Cleveland Bay. And I'm gonna ask him a few questions that I'm not sure of, that a viewer sent me regarding the Loadboard, and you guys can kind of just listen in. My brother, every time we talk, he gives some valuable information. That's what I let him know. So that's what we're about to get into in just a few minutes, just to let you know if you watch this on the replay. Before we do get into that though, Nick, anything interesting happened to you this week? Anything you see anything interesting this week while you're out on the road?
No, not really, man. It's been kind of a slow week, man. I was off Tuesday and off Friday, so it's kind of slow week. So I ain't seen a whole lot.
Got you.
Yeah.
Well, I started a new gig this past week, right?
Right. I heard. How it's going?
I mean, it's going all right, man. It's going okay. It's pretty good.
Right.
But I saw some interesting stuff this week, man, for real. So I'm gonna show you something real quick. I'm gonna show you let me share my screen real quick.
Uh-oh.
Funny stuff. Yeah, I got some funny stuff to show you. Yeah. My gallery. Let me go there first. Check this out. Notice anything missing?
Yeah, see the stack gone.
Man, I was coming down 295, man. That joint came off when I was going down 295, bro.
Right. That look like the clamp's still on there, right?
It is.
What you just ain't get it
already. I got it fixed already. I dropped it off at Northwestern, but when I was coming in the road, I thought it was one of the cross members off the top of the trailer. And all I know is I heard something, and I looked out the driver's mirror, and I saw it fly off what looked like the top of the trailer, and the two cars behind me, luckily, they dodged it. Luckily. Right. But then when I got to where I was going to, I looked back, I'm like, man, that's my daggone stack going off the damn truck, man.
Gracious.
No good. Say what?
Yeah, I said good gracious, man. With trucking, man, anything, don't ain't nothing surprising me no more. So
absolutely. Well, yeah. Let me see if this right here surprised you. Hang on one second. I got something else for you. I got one more thing to show you before we get into this. Let me see if this one right here surprised you. This might. Can you see this?
Uh-huh.
Probably can't hear it, but hopefully you can see it. That's the scale out. That's the scale out up at West Point Mill.
Right.
Can you see that?
I can see it.
He drove off the side of the scale, man.
I can only see the back two wheels on it, though, the tandems.
Let me go back just a little bit. You can't see that right there, the front wheel hanging off the side of that scale.
Hold on. Let me get back to it. Something going on here.
And his breather messed up.
Hold on. What we on Zoom, right?
I got you.
You see? I don't lost the screen.
Oh, no, I turned it off. I'm about to go back to it right now. Hang on.
All right.
I don't want to play it.
Who is that sneezing?
That's me, man.
Allergies.
Yeah. Dang, I keep going back too far. I'm trying to turn the screen to the side, but when I do that, hang on one second.
Great day, Yasmin.
I know what I told her, man. Let me do this. Let me do it the easy way. Let me do that. We're about to get into this in 1 second, man. I want you to see this, though. Let me just do it that way. Now I can go back to my gallery and show it to you. There we go.
Yeah, I can see the front hanging off there.
Yeah, that he couldn't get. I mean, he couldn't get no further than that.
Oh, I see. I see. Yeah, he drove off the right side of the scale. I see.
Yeah.
So his breather hit that yellow pole.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Ah,
Bob Valley had to come in there and tow him up out of there.
I see. I see. It don't look too bad.
He said, man, I effed up, man. I effed up this time, man.
Well, if he said it this time, that means he don't effed up before then. So
yeah, yeah,
that's what that means. Right. It happens, man. It happens, man. All it takes is a.
Say it again.
It's something, not attention to something. It happens. So.
Yeah, that's what he said. He said. That's what he said. He said he was looking down at the skateboard.
Yeah, it happens. Been there.
Yeah.
Yep.
You ain't did that. What you ain't did that before though, right?
I was close to it.
Looking down while you pulling off the scale.
No, I had to cross a dam, and on the right side was a drop off, and on the left side was a pond. So I didn't want to go too far to the right, so I kind of had to try to straddle it. And before I noticed it, the left side of the trailer was about to slip down in that pond. They had those poles with the ropes that run from pole to pole. And I hit the first pole and smashed it. The second pole stopped it. But if I would have kept going, that trailer would have went down in that pond, probably turned the whole truck over in the pond. But the second one stopped, and then I had to call the tow truck, and he had to pick the whole ass end of the trailer up and sit it back in the road. So that was like probably maybe a year, probably about a year ago now. So
I think you told me that before, man. Was the road narrow, extremely narrow or something?
It was very narrow, and I got a low bumper on my truck, and I didn't want to drag the bumper, so that's why I didn't want to drop off to the right side because I would have caught the bumper. So, but like I said, man, when these things happen, something like that, when you run up on a situation like that, you got to stop and you got to tell the man who unload you, hey, man, I'm not going down in there. If somebody else going, I let them go ahead of me. I'll see if they can make it, then I'll do it. But for the most part, I should have, because I had on some crane mats. I should have made him bring the crane out to me and take the crane mats off and stage them up there on the other side of the creek. But man, when I got up in there, they unloaded me. Then they had to lift the trailer around again to get me straightened out to get back out of there. So, like I said, those situations like that, man, you just gotta, be on your P's and Q's. But like I said, it happens. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
That's what's up, man. All right, man. Let's get into it. First of all, man, I appreciate you for hopping on, giving me a little bit of time, man, so we can break this down. You helping me to understand. You helping me to understand the trucking business, and like I said, I got people that ask me comments and questions as well.
Right.
That I would like to be able to help them understand. So, good stuff, man. I appreciate it. So this first one, man, I want to read you this message I got from Chris Hopkins, right? So he got a couple of questions, and he's the one that sent me the first thing we're gonna go over today, which is those black images of that load board. So Here is his message right here. I'm gonna read it out to you. He says, just to kind of clarify everything, if you own your own truck, have your own authority with your DOT and MC number, are you able to pick up loads off of the load board and basically subcontract fuel costs in monthly insurance costs, maintenance costs, and load factoring?
All right, say that again now.
Yeah, matter of fact, let me do it like this. Let me do it like this. Let me share my screen again. All right, you can see my screen, right?
Right. Yeah.
All right, boom. Here's the message right here that I'm reading. And you know, our messages are, he might have worded a couple of things a little bit wrong. So just to kind of clarify everything, if you own your own truck, have your own authority with your DOT and MC number, are you able to pick up loads off the load board and basically subcontract?
And basically subtract the fuel costs
Subtract,
and monthly insurance costs, maintenance costs, and load factoring. Isn't it reasonable to say that you can make $600 to $1,000 a day on the right loads? Absolutely.
Got you. So explain to me what he talking about. Like, I got you. Okay, all right, I got you. Okay, I already understand. I don't know why I was reading the word subcontract.
Right.
That's what was throwing me off. Yeah. I got you. So yeah, me and you talked about this actually just a couple of weeks ago. How much your own operator could make in a day, right? So what he asking is, after all his expenses, can he clear between 600 and 1,000 a day?
Yeah, I mean, just depend on how you set it up. You know what I mean? I mean, if you put on a $1,500 load and you say, okay, 5 is going to fuel, and you break your insurance down and see what that's costing you. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So what he asking is reasonable. And then he said, I'm in California and I see loads going from Los Angeles to Phoenix, close to 400 miles or so, give or take. And they're paying sometimes 1,200 to 2,100. Right. So I'm gonna pull up what he sent me, just so everybody else can see it as well. And I guess we just go over that. So here's one of the images that he sent me right here. Right. So first thing I want to ask you, man, about the load board, help me to understand that. There's several different load boards, obviously.
Right.
Okay. There's more than one load board. Do all of the load boards show the same load?
No, they have some load boards have different loads. Certain companies use certain load boards where you look on one load board, you might see a load that's not listed on another load board. So it's best to, keep about maybe 2 to 3, as many free ones as you can, really. But I mean, most time you don't have time to check all of them. So I usually switch between 2 or 3 of them, kind of keep abreast of what's going on as far as what's being posted, what's out there. So
got you. And like you said, you go ahead. I'm sorry.
I said, no, go ahead.
And like you said, it could be a situation where a load is just on one particular load board, but it could also be, on multiple load boards.
Absolutely.
It's probably on multiple load boards, right?
Yeah. And a lot of the free load boards will snag loads off of those paid load boards, because I'll see the same loads on the free load board. So, and I can't imagine where a company is going to post a load on a paying load board and then turn around and put it on a free load board as well. I mean, they may, but I just feel like some of those free load boards are getting the loads directly from the paid load board. So,
I would assume that's probably what's happening.
Yeah.
That makes sense. All right. So, okay. Help me understand what I'm looking at, what he sent me here. Can you help me break this down, bro? I'm looking at hieroglyphics right now, bro.
All right. See, Commerce, California to Phoenix, Arizona. That's the first one, right?
Yeah.
368 miles. You take your 1,800 divided by 368. That'll give you your cents per mile, right? You kind of get in your head what you want to run, how much you charging per mile, whether it's $3 a mile, $4 a mile. You got to figure, okay, can I get this load on one day and get it off the next morning with enough time to reload? I hear guys loading, well, I got an appointment 10 o'clock at night and stuff like that. To me, if I don't have enough time to reload, the load kind of may not do me much good. You know what I mean? If I got to load it one day and I can't unload until the next night, to me, that's 2 days tied up in a load. You know what I mean? So I kind of try to figure everything in. I try to stick with loads that I know, what's all involved. Like I said, some loads, like I said, sometimes it's just a little bit too much involved to take a chance on the load. If you're going to get the load, then they tell you where you have to call and make an appointment, and you get the load, get the shipper on the phone. He said, well, I take you, I got my earliest appointment is 2 days from now. Now you sitting on the load for 2 days. I mean, if it's over the weekend, fine. If it's during the week, nah, $400, 400-mile trip, nah, they got to come off tomorrow. You know what I mean? That's pretty much an 8-hour run. So, yeah, like I said, just figure out how much you want to run per mile. And always, in my mind, I try to figure, okay, if I ran locally, let's say I ran from Richmond to DC, you know, I'm going for a certain amount. I can reload out of DC or Baltimore, and I can get that load back down to Richmond and get it off the same day and possibly reload that evening. I compare everything to that. You know what I mean? How much can I make in a day if I ran locally? You know, some people don't like running locally. They prefer to stretch out a little bit, but you just got to figure out what you're comfortable with. So.
Got you. Now these numbers up here beside Commerce, California, Phoenix, Arizona, 75 and 0. What is that?
Where you see that at? God, your picture is kind of on that one. So go to the next one, Compton, California to Prescott, Arizona.
Yeah, you see that 80 beside Compton, California, and that 127 beside Prescott?
All right, from I believe from where he was 80 miles from Compton, California. And maybe I'm not sure what that 127 is. Because I'm not sure with that West Coast stuff. But I don't know if he's 127. That to me should be mileages, I would think.
I need my calculator. You know what? Let me grab my calculator real quick, man.
Yeah.
I got my own phone right here. So I guess, like, hypothetically, if you wanted to know all of that stuff that you were talking about in regards to this load, all of the little specifics on it, I guess in this situation you would just click, and then it would give you who you need to contact. Is that
right?
It?
The RCG Logistics is, once you click it, their phone number, their contact information is on that in the information. Load like that, I would say, okay, how far am I from Compton, California? First of all, then I run my miles from Compton to Prescott, which they say according to this is 466, which is usually a little bit short. So I would say it's probably closer to 475. I would usually round up, say it's 500 miles. You know what I mean? So that load is paying a little over $3 a mile, which, like I say, it's a good load, just depending on, and van loads, to me, a lot of times a lot of van loads go by appointments. So just I get the broker on the phone, see how long they take to pay, whether or not they got quick pay, how much the quick pay is. If it's 2 or 3%, okay. If it's 8, 9, 10%, it just depends on what you're comfortable with. 10%, gonna knock off $180. That amount is still okay with you, then hey, go ahead and ride with it. But like I say, you just got to figure out how much time you're gonna end up putting in that load.
All right. I'm looking now on this screen right now that we're looking at. These are 4 different loads.
4 different loads. Yeah, you click on each load. You click on, say the Commerce, California, Phoenix, Arizona. You click on that one. It opens up, give you all the information. Sometimes they put in the notes, must have whatever, whatever you need to haul it, straps, dunnage, or whatever. You see something you're not comfortable with. If say you got a 48-foot trailer, a lot of times that 53-foot, it'll say you have to have a 53-foot, but most of the time I call and ask them, hey, do you really need a 53-foot or will a 48-footer work? Sometimes they'll tell you, let me check. I get back with you, or they know right away. Yeah, 48 will work if that's what you got, And so don't let that deter you if you're looking at the load board. So,
got you. And I noticed that this Commerce, California load is a lot more weight than the Compton, California load.
Right.
The Commerce is 41,000. The Compton is 9,300.
Right, which is sometimes not set in stone. You know what I mean? So, I just figure like if I can haul it legally, 41,000. My gross weight is 30,000. If I can scale 41,000, if I can get the 9,300-pound load, of course I'm gonna get it. But if I can't, I can still scale 45,000. So I ain't saying no big deal. But if the 9,300-pound load is gone, then keep it moving, grab, jump on the next one that's available.
Got you. what would make you look at one of the what would deter you? What would deter you when you look at like what would determine which one of these that you would be most prone to click on when you first look at a load board?
I mean, I'd click on all of them. Well, first of all, I'd click on the one probably that I'm closest to.
Okay.
Probably click on the one that's probably paying a little more. I'd click on one. I definitely would click on one with a company that I'm already set up with, so I don't have to go through the process of getting set up on the road as well. Which most time everything is done online, but and to me, man, seconds count. If you missed the phone call, oh man, you call the guy. I just got off the phone. I just booked that load. You know what I mean? So I will call somebody usually that I'm already set up with. So.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So usually in an area like this, if that's where you run to, if you run all 48, man, you're gonna run into different brokers day in and day out. You know what I mean? So, you just gotta have your fax machine set up in your truck, keep your, cartridges, everything ready to go. Like I say, some of it's online, just be quick with it. Some brokers will hold the load. Hey man, give me your paperwork. I hold the load for you. And just do it, take care of everything quick as you can. So.
And then you mentioned something to me before about as far as getting loads off of this load board that these people. Didn't you mention something about they would rather to deal with brokers or something like that, or they would rather deal with people that got more than one truck or something to that effect?
In my opinion, they do. If I got 100 loads to move, I'm not gonna call 100 different, smaller guys. I'm gonna call one company, give them all. I'm gonna give him as many loads as he can take. If he said give me 50, okay, I'm gonna get on the phone. I'm gonna call the next company. I'm gonna get him 50. I'm not gonna sit there and call 100 different carriers trying to get this stuff moved. You know what I mean? So that's the way I see that. So that's why if you're a smaller guy, man, it's better to me to you can hunt your own freight and try to get with a shipping company direct and just hanging there long as you can, as long as they not sending you out too far where you can't get back, or send you out and tell you to hurry up and get back where you can't catch your backhaul or whatever. I found, man, in the last couple of years, man, that backhaul is where it's at, man. You know what I mean? That makes a world of difference. So.
Got you. So now, hypothetically, if you were like, based on this guy's question, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna get off of this right here 1 second.
All right.
Based on hang on 1 second. Let me pull it back up. If I can. 1 second. So based on his original question, right? Like I said, I believe this brother Chris Hopkins is still in the process of getting his CDL right now. So, and like I said, that's what he sent me as, that's what he's potentially, looking at. And I guess he's, I don't know whether he's planning on going that route with the load board or whether he's planning on getting in with, with a shipper. But like, right. If he was listening to this right now, which he could be, I don't think he is, but he could be. Right. Could you offer him anything? Could you tell him anything?
I mean, as far as making the $600 to $1,000 a day?
I mean, I guess as far as just coming out of the gate with that expectation, just, I know you don't know his situation, so you can't speak exactly the situation, but just, is there anything that you would say to a new owner operator in his situation about to come out, expecting to be able to get between 600 and 1,000 a day, like maybe some, like what he need to be looking out for? Or you said that was reasonable to get. Is there anything that you could, any piece of advice that you could offer him? Anything that that pay or anything?
The $600 to $1,000 a day, I'm not gonna say that he can do that every day. I mean, you can do it, I would say starting out, set your sights on, look more realistically, look at it more by a per week period. How much can you do in a week? You know what I mean? Not necessarily per day, because you might have a day where you make zero. But if you can drop a $2,000 load in 2 days, then, now you got $1,000 a day. So you kind of average it out like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So try to keep your expenses down. Watch out for the little mistakes. Try to stay in a routine, a groove where you know where you're going. Stick with the same freight. Because to me, I make more mistakes when I'm doing something new, going into new places.
Keep in mind, this is all gonna be new to him. That's kind of one of the reasons why I'm asking that. This is all gonna be new to him. He ain't got no reputation set up with none of these people yet,
Right. Well, like I said, the main thing you want to do is not tear your equipment up. You know what I mean? You don't want to be, clipping stuff, hitting stuff, missing appointments, turning freight over, stuff like that. Make sure you secure your freight, cutting tires, all that little costly little stuff like that, and just realize that just one day everything will level out. It's all in your mind. Naturally, like I say, once you get started, it's gonna be some hiccups here and there. But just keep your wits about you. If something go wrong, sit for a minute, think, okay, what is the best way out of this situation? You know what I mean? Try to solve it as cost efficiently as possible, and don't panic. You know what I mean? So that's one thing I can, tell them.
I get that.
Right.
I get that. Like every job that I've had Pop's truck on, just in being the driver of the truck, there's a learning curve to it. Like there's a learning curve just to understanding where you going, where you got to go when you get there, the process of getting the paperwork signed. Some places you might have to drop the trailer over there and pick up the other trailer from over there. Some places you got to drop it and take it out. And some places the guy will meet you with the paperwork around there. Some places you got to walk up to but just knowing all of that, after a while, 6-8 months or whatever of doing it over and over again, then you get to the point that almost every day, exactly, okay, the routine here, the routine, and it does seem to level out and get easier and get smoother. I made a video on that, basically talking about it does get easier after you do it. But that's going to be the situation with even just every job that I've had that truck on. This is learning curve, man. And at first, it's just like you clumsy as hell. You wasting time and doing stuff the wrong. It's like you ain't need to go. No, why do you come in that way? No, you don't need to come in that way. That's the way they know to come in that way. It's like, all right, I get it, man.
That's right.
I get it.
That's right. Yep. Yeah. Like I said, you get somewhere where you don't know where you're going, just sit for a minute, stop, ask somebody before you go down that wrong road or whatever. So, yep.
I get that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so real quick, man, we're gonna jump right back in. I want to run over these joints that Zoe sent me, which I guess he really sent me the same thing that the other guy that Chris Hopkins sent me.
Mm-hmm.
Let me share it again real quick, my screen, and his stuff is in, where is Zoe's stuff? Is in Messenger, is in my messages, actually. So right here. Yep, there you go, right here. All right, boom. So watch this. Now, from looking at what the figures you saw on the other one just now, and from looking at these figures right here,
right,
they appear to pay the same, essentially.
So this load is running from Charlotte, North Carolina to Taylor, South Carolina to Haines City, Florida.
I see deadhead. That's the first thing I see.
Where you see the deadhead part? Let me see.
Right above the word Charlotte, North Carolina. I can blow it up some.
I got you. Okay, 14-mile deadhead. All right, so you're pretty much loading out of Charlotte, going to Taylor's, going to Haines City, Florida. So a load like that, you say, okay, how long is it going to take me to get off? You know what I mean? You got to stop in there from Taylor's, in Taylor, South Carolina, right? You might probably take you're going to load in Charlotte. You probably I'm pretty sure you can drop Taylor's probably same day, depending on how long they take to load you. And then you're going to run down to Haines City, Florida. A load like this, how many days you going to have tied up in it? And also, once you get unloaded in Florida, can you load yourself back out of Florida where you have to come all the way back to Georgia or South Carolina or some of that nature? So, like I said, numbers don't necessarily impress me, you know what I mean? As far as like, 2,500, like I said, because if you run local, and, you can be home every night and do, $1,000, I can do $2,000 probably in 2 days sometimes if I hit it just right. And I ain't got to end up way down in Florida sitting trying to find a backhaul or deadhead back up to Georgia. You know what I mean? So I've done it. So matter of fact, I was talking to somebody a couple of days ago that said that 2,500 to go to Florida. This was a straight shot to Florida wasn't quite enough. So, you know, to a man that, you know, maybe want to go to Florida, vacation in Florida or something, hey, he might look at it and say, hey, I'll take it. You know what I mean? But like I said, it's all a personal thing, you know. How many miles?
Zoe sent me this. I don't think he planning on staying down in Florida over here. He sent me this just to kind of show me. I guess he was sending me this just to say, yo, look at what I'm seeing on the Uber Free Loadboard.
Right. Well, like I say, man, you know, how many days are you gonna have tied up to get that load down there? Right. I'm seeing, you know, probably 3, maybe 4 days, which averages out to about what, $600 a day. You know, you do that locally pretty much. So, like I said, then once you get unloaded, you got a deadhead back. You know, usually I try to stay out of Florida as much as possible, but like I say, if you need to get down that way, you know.
What's the deal with Florida? Just wondering. You say
Just, I mean, like I say, you can't get nothing coming out of Florida unless you're running watermelons or some sort of produce or something. You know what I mean? Yeah. Sometimes you get a hookup with somebody that might have a little something coming out of Florida, but for the most part, I hear about a lot of people having to come back up to Georgia or South Carolina. So.
And so this stuff that you telling me, man, as far as, you know, knowing that it's difficult to get stuff coming back out of Florida, or I guess that's just a matter of just knowing, just experience with what you're doing.
Yeah, just experience.
Just knowing, okay, if I'm gonna deal with taking something into Florida, that's an area that's a little bit hard to find something to come out of. That's just one thing you just find out just by being out there, I guess, a while, right?
Right. That's right. I mean, to me, you know, Florida has always been you know, like I say, I used to run watermelon out of Florida, and that was, you know, only time I would go down that watermelon season. So, yeah, that's just, you know, kind of like a, you know, commonly known thing. You know what I mean? Everybody knows it's a little hard to get out of Florida. So,
no, everybody don't know that, but I ain't know.
Oh, okay, right. Well, I mean, it may be different now, but like I said, I just talked to a guy a couple of days ago, and you know, he said he had a little problem getting out of Florida. So, matter of fact, he had to come all the way back to South Carolina. So, like I said, that, you know, now you know. So, I mean, matter of fact, if you go to Florida, try to already have your backhaul booked. You know what I mean? So, you know, you get down there, get everything off, you know, go get your reload and come on back. So
I got you. You got a few I got a few comments down here in the chat. I'm responding to something real quick.
All right.
Yeah, just got a few comments down there. I'm gonna read them out real quick. Tevin Talks. I don't think any of these is anything that we can bring up right now. It's not appropriate to this discussion. But Tevin Talk said he's in truck driving school. I'm in school now. Got my permit yesterday. Got his permit yesterday. Tevin Talks. He's asking me any thoughts on Stevens Transport. We can't really get into that right now. In this, we just not talking about that.
I don't know nothing about Stevens Transport.
I get it.
Not a thing. Don't have a clue.
Mocha DMG said, "Hey, Coconut." I guess I'm saying it right. Mocha DMG. Icy Profits, what's up, my man? Good to see you here, man. Icy Profits is a subscriber on the channel. He comments on a lot of my videos. What's his opinion on consistent cheap freight like Amazon? You know anything about that?
If it's lightweight, you ain't tearing your truck up, hauling it. You know, set your miles, what you want per mile, $1.50, $1.80, $2, and run that rock. You know what I mean? So, you know, like I say, you ain't tearing your truck up, but you know, you got to ride. You know, so you know, I know guys that's doing it. So, and they seem to be, you know, have nice trucks and doing pretty good with it.
Gotcha. There you go, Icy Profits. Appreciate your comment, bro. Error code 666. Can you own your own truck and drive for a company? Yeah, if you want.
Absolutely.
Yeah, if you want to.
Yep. I can't imagine you'd have time to do both, but I mean, you know, if you drive for the company, maybe you put a driver on your truck, you know, if you're somebody that you know, somebody you're comfortable with. But You know, I wouldn't let it sit. So
that's what Zoe planning on doing, I believe. I ain't talked to him in a while, man, but he got a truck. I mean, he driving for somebody else during the week. Actually Monday through Thursday, and then I believe he just got his own truck. Last time I talked to him was probably 6-7 weeks ago, and he said he was, pretty much close to getting it on the road. He's planning on finding some work for it on the weekend and driving it on the weekend.
Good deal.
Yeah. D-Ski Valley, Savannah, Georgia, deadhead when you drop in Florida. Savannah, Georgia, deadhead when you drop in Florida. I don't know what they saying.
Yeah, he's saying once you get in Florida, deadhead up out of Florida. But if I'm going to Florida, somebody gonna pay for that deadhead back up out of there. So I'm not going down to Florida for no minimum cheaper rate, average rate. Anywhere I don't want to go, or I know it's gonna be a hassle getting back out of,
you got to get paid.
Somebody's gonna pay. Somebody's gonna pay. I'm telling you, I'm gonna put that on that rate going, out there. And if they give it to me, cool. If they don't give it to me, hey, I move on to the next one. But if I'm going to Florida, I'm going for some big money where I expect to come back to Georgia or South Carolina, and I'm gonna enjoy the trip. You know what I mean? Because I know I got paid to go down there. So.
Yep, I understand that. I understand that. Do me a favor, family. If you listening, go down in the make sure you click the like button. If you're getting any value from this, which you should be. Like I said, every time me and my brother have a conversation, I let him know that he gives out some valuable information, and I've been wanting to catch him on video with this. So if you're getting some value from this, be sure to give the channel a like. Be sure to give my big bro a like for taking time out of his day to spend a few minutes here with us on The Helpful Trucker. So real quick, man, I brought up this second one that Zoe, and then I'm gonna let you go. I brought up the second one that Zoe sent me. Now, how does this one right here work? This is a round trip bundle. So they sending you and getting you back.
That's right.
Got you. That's
the Troutman, North Carolina to Knoxville.
That what it looked like, yeah.
And
then from Salem back to Lumberton.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, you just figure all your miles round trip. Figure your miles round trip. Figure your cost, your cents per mile, and make it make sense. Make it make sense. Yeah.
Yeah. How did you, that process of making it make sense and understanding once you do these numbers on these loads, and understanding that it ain't just about the number, it's about the whole thing, whether you can get a back haul, where you going, and all of that good stuff. Just kind of take me back to you figuring out that process. In other words, figuring out what was good money and what wasn't good money. Go ahead, I'm listening.
Every job I've been on, I kind of boil it down to my cents per mile, and I figure in my deadhead miles and all that good stuff, right? So over the years, I've kind of tried to average it up. You know what I mean? Okay, I'm starting out, back in, 25, 30 years ago when I first started. I think the average was $1 a mile. Fuel was what, 50, 75 cents a gallon or something like that. So, after a while, fuel went up. Okay, now my rate going up. So now got the fooling with pallets. We was running for $1.50 a mile round trip. Okay, cool. Next job. Now I compare my next job to what I was getting. All right, we running for $2 a mile round trip. So now I was doing $1.50. Now I'm doing $2 a mile round trip. But that was loaded out, come back and get reloaded and go back out. You know what I mean? So after a while, it was like, okay, I go out for $2 a mile, but wait a minute, I bring a load back for $1.50, $2 a mile. So I started, just trying to average up what I'm getting per mile, my cents per mile, and just try to make it, raise it higher, as high as you possibly can. $5 a mile, $10 a mile, hey man, we got a load going 20 miles down the road, pay you $500. You know what I mean? At the end of the week, you add up your mileage, you add up your money, and you divide it, you come out with how much did you make cents per mile. You know what I mean? So now you got to keep your miles up as well. You can't, run, say 200 miles. Say, okay, well, I did $5 a mile, which you ain't made but $1,000 for the week. You got to, run, say 1,000 miles and try to do, say, $3,000 for the week. Now you're doing $3 a mile. 1,000 miles fuel, pretty much 50 cents a gallon. You ain't burn but $500 worth of fuel. You bring home $2,500 in a week. You know what I mean? So a lot of time, like I say, don't worry about, some of those people might take 30 days to pay you. I still figure that money in per week and say, okay, I generated this week $3,000, $3,500, $4,000, $5,000 for that week. Some of it go on the book, some of it go in my pocket. If you can stand to put it on the book, don't worry about it. It's gonna come. You know what I mean? So 30 days down the road, you might put some more money on the book, but hey, 30 days ago, you got a customer that took 30 days to pay you. Now you get that money off the book. So after a while, over time, if you can stand that hump, that hit like that, right, exactly, it'll average itself out, and you just got to keep your average up, and that will, to me, I mean, that's what's been working for me. So that's what worked for me. That's how I do it. So now I've heard about the big money guys out there, guys making $8,000-9,000 a week hauling flowers and stuff like that. I haven't been, fortunate enough to run across that type of freight. I've just been doing my little steady little thing where I count on my little paycheck every week. I ain't tearing my truck up, get my money, going on home. You know what I mean? So
I got you. Last question, man. At this point in your career, you've been an owner operator how long?
I mean, depending on how you look at it. When I first got out the military in 1990, I was, working with Pop for, I'm gonna say, a couple of years. So then I kind of started out, doing my own thing. And that was, like I said, got out in 1990. So I figured about 92, 93, it's kind of started doing my own thing. So, you figure, 27, 28 years pretty much.
So in where you are right now, the amount of let's just, if you was to break down like your, I'm not going to ask you about your money. I just want to let you know that. But if you was to break down all of the money that you made last month, how much of that what percentage of that would you say came from, like you said, when you're looking on the Loadboard, you like to see companies that you already done business with before. So how much of that is doing business with companies you already done business with before, and how much of that is brand new companies that you ran across just last month?
I say 90% is companies. 90% is companies that I normally deal with.
Gotcha. You know
okay. 90%. 10%. You know what I mean? You might run across somebody. Okay, I see this load on the Loadboard. It's right here. It's 10 miles down. I got the track. You know what I mean? And I haven't had any problems with any, body holding money or not paying me or whatever. You know what I mean? So, I think the brokers went through something a few years ago where a lot of the smaller brokers kind of got weeded out. So most of the ones that's out there now, fairly legit. I've heard now that there comes that, that smaller brokers that might get you, but I've been fortunate enough to keep my money coming in. So
you not dealing with brokers much?
I do. I deal with them. I deal with them a lot at this point, but the brokers that I deal with, we kind of gotta, they know when they call me, you got to pay. You know what I mean? I ain't saying, I'm reasonable. You know what I mean? I get the job done. I get it there when you want it there. So, I'm dependable. So they get what they pay for.
I get that. I understand that. I understand that totally.
Right. So I mean, like a broker will call me and say, "Hey man, I got a load in Richmond going to south side of Richmond." You know what I mean? And I give you a rate. My load might pay $400. You know what I mean? I'm gonna grab that. $4, really a little over $4 a mile, because from north side of Richmond to south side of Richmond, you're talking 30 miles. I grab a $400 load. Then he might call me back and say, "Hey man, I got another one. Go get another one." Boom. I've done that. It happens often. You know what I mean? I ain't tearing my truck up. Ran 60 miles, 100 miles for that day. Going on home in the evening. You know what I mean? $800 a day. So I think if you focus on something, that's where that freight will fall in your lane. You know what I mean? But you got to kind of be, looking forward, kind of put it together, Like I said, load boards help. If I'm in Richmond, I see a load going out to, say, Harrisonburg. I'm going to get on the load board. Okay, what's out that way in Harrisonburg? Coming back towards Richmond. I might get it off that evening. I might not get off to the next morning, but a lot of, I got 2 trailers, so I can reload my other trailer when I get back in the evening and do a little something else the next day and still put it together, So that's one thing too. I would suggest anybody that's got your own authority is get 2 trailers, whether you pull van freight, whether you pull flatbed freight. Get you 2 trailers, whether so, you get your van and a flatbed. Because see, your trailer is what opens up the avenue to what you can haul. If you don't have if you don't have a van, then you can't fool with van freight. You know what I mean? I know guys that don't have no trailers, which are pretty much relying on people that, hey, come pull my trailer. You got everybody competing for that. Get your own trailer, van and a flatbed. And I'm thinking to myself, 9 times out of 10, you can stay pretty busy. So
yeah. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. I'm trying to think of anything else I want to ask you, man. I don't think it's nothing else. I think you covered everything I wanted to ask you personally.
All right.
Yeah. I appreciate it, man.
Well,
Go
Hope
ahead.
I was able to help, man. Well,
I know you helped because you helped me.
Okay, good deal.
Yeah. You definitely helped me.
Sometimes you take for granted, what you know. You know what I mean? I just assume, man. Like I said, I've been doing it so long, just certain things come natural. You just assume that everybody knows, the ins and outs, the ups and downs. And you just kind of, take the things you know for granted. But like I said, 30 years in the business, so I know a little bit. So enough to get me through the day, I guess.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah.
Yo, give it up. If y'all still watching, which I see some of y'all are, please do me a favor and give it up. Give my brother Coconut a hand or a flame emoji or a bomb emoji or something for dropping these bombs. Do me a favor, go down in the comments and give him some love down in the comments. Again, bro, I appreciate you. I appreciate you coming on. I definitely love to I'm gonna need to have more of these conversations. And so
anytime, man. Anytime.
Cool, and I would definitely love to record them, most certainly.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna be wanting to have. It's so many things I don't know. It's so many things I don't know. And trucking definitely seems to be a really, really diverse industry, man. Like almost like whatever way you go. Like even if you decide to drive for somebody, just do that. It's still so many options. You know what I'm saying? And just with whatever avenue you go with, it's like I said, it seems to be a lot of stuff to learn about it. So
right. I
realize right now I'm at the point where I don't know, and there's so many people around me that do know. You being one of them.
Yeah, I'm watching some of these videos, man. These guys putting up on YouTube, man, and this new generation, boy. Hey, man, these guys on top of their stuff, man. They really are. I'm old school. I'm back when I first started driving, when CDLs first came out. It was people that quit because they didn't want to go get CDL. I ain't getting no CDL, so they gave up trucking. You know what I mean? To me, it was, hey, okay, I gotta get a CDL, big deal, So now with the DF and the electronic law books, I'm like, I'm, hey, but these new people, man, they fall right into it, man. My mentality just ain't there yet. So I'm trying to make the transition back, but like I say, man, you can't teach old dog new tricks, though. Trying to hold this old Peterbilt together and ride off in the sunset, I guess.
Godwin David gave you a flame. Leonard H gave you a flame.
Good deal. Appreciate it, driver. Appreciate it, fellas.
Marvin Taylor gave you the strong arm.
All right.
D-Ski Valley said, thanks, broski. Definitely appreciate the wisdom from Marvin Taylor. So yeah, you definitely help some guys out.
Good deal, man. Good deal. I sure appreciate it. Yeah.
So yeah, man. Hey, if you're watching the channel and you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, make sure you go below and subscribe to the channel. Stay close to the channel because I got a lot of good content that I'm planning on coming out. Again, I know there's a lot of things that I don't know as far as trucking. I plan on learning those things from the resources from the people around me and documenting that process. And I also plan on putting out videos dealing with the stuff that I do know. So I got a lot of hot content coming down the pipe for you guys. So make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And if you have, just make sure you just stay close. Just stay close so you can stay notified of everything I got going on. So other than that, man, I appreciate you, man. Is there anything else you got to say?
Nope, that's about it, man. About it. So
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. I'm about to stop sharing. I'm about to stop in the live stream now. Let me figure out how to do that. I ain't never had to end these live streams before. Right. I know one way to do it is just cut my phone off.
Pretty much.
Let me see. I paused it. Let me go back here. Oh, I know what I got to do. I got to stop it from in Zoom. That's what I got to do. I got to go back to Zoom.
This will be on your YouTube channel.
Say it again. Yeah, this will be on my YouTube channel. Yeah, we was live just now, so I mean it was already going out live. But
okay.
But yeah, as soon as it finish processing, it'll be on there.
Yeah. Yeah, you seeing about in the comments, man. These guys know what the hell they talk about, man. That ain't how you do it, man.
Nah. No, I ain't see that.
Yeah, okay. Go sit your old ass down somewhere in the way.